Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna be checking how to use Kurenai. But before we start, don't forget to share, like and subscribe. Also, comment on what you want to see next and what other builds you know with this character. So, starting with the skills. We have Spiral Render, which is her launching attack. It's a hold attack during normal attacks, knocks the enemy airborne with the whirlwind, and adds combos with additional strikes. One green, stab downwards and knocks back the enemy. One blue reduces the cooldown by 20%, and one red increases damage by 25%. A pretty good skill for a launching attack, because this doesn't focus on keeping the enemy airborne and doing more attacks midair. No. It quickly goes down, so it is usable as a damaging skill, because supposedly what keeps the enemy airborne is the whirlwind, but it is fine that that doesn't happen, and it deals a ton of multi hits. So let's continue with the next one. Next we have Gale Slash. Gale Slash is the all red. It's immediately after an attack you have to bathe. Immediately after the previous attack, dashes forward, slashing enemies in her path. One red charges particles by 2%, 2 red restores HP by 3% of damage dealt, and 3 red increases critical rate by 50%. So, what does this do? This is more utility than damage. Yes, it deals damage, but the main appeal is the utility. You're gonna recover a ton of HP because it has a big AoE. So you're going to hit multiple enemies, and you're gonna recover even more because you are gonna crit on your attack. That's the main appeal of this. And the particle charge is really appreciated on her limited set. It's not like the best thing ever, but it is usable. Then we have Tornado Rend. Tornado Rend is a hold attack. It says hold a whirlwind that deals multiple hits to the enemies on its path. 2 green, stun the enemy, 2 blue, knock up the target, and 2 red, the whirlwind stays in place. These are PvP-like effects. I don't like them too much. The knock up, it's... if not for super armor, it could be very, very good, because there are some things that you can do with that. And the best effect definitely is the red one. I know it sounds like not impressive, but we can do with that multi-hit. We can do some stuff. Then we have Deflective Wind. Deflective Wind, it's a hold debate, and it's a counter attack, as you can see. Prepares to counter attack, greatly reduces the damage taken, and strikes back when attacked. With this procs on the main. With a main green, restores HP by 5% of damage dealt. With a main blue, reduces the target's defense by 20% for 10 seconds. With a main red, makes the target groggy. So the groggy thing is good for PvP, but not on other kind of content, on PvE. So the main green is definitely the strongest one, but the main blue is not too bad. It's actually pretty good. Besides, blue is already a strong color for her, because she's both protect and demon, and those traits are well enhanced on blue. So it is a very usable effect. Then we have Kama Itachi. Kama Itachi is going to be a double dash that teleports in front of the enemy to make a slashing attack. I don't like this one too much because it's pretty weird. I mean, the position where she teleports and the area of effect, it's weird. It's like, look at this. The enemy is just in range. She teleports to hit that specific enemy. So you may not hit all of your targets with this skill. That's something that I don't like about it. But it is, yeah, it is a mixture of good and bad. Let's check the effects. this proc on 3 supporters of the same color, so that's another thing that I don't like. But stab the enemy for increased damage. It's like, I guess, a little bit more damage, but it's not that big of a deal. Reduce the cooldown by 30%. Um, Pretty unimpressive for the most part. Yes, you can deal a lot of damage constantly, but even so, I don't like it. And the last one, that one is pretty good. Reduces the target's speed by 30% for 10 seconds. That one is good. If there's one skill I would like them to rework, is this one, definitely. Um, let's see. Then we have Howling Wind. Howling Wind is a dash attack, and sprint towards the enemy and stab it. Reduces damage taken by 50% during attack with 1 green. Increase the number of attacks. The final blow knocks back the target. That with 2 green, and with 3 increase critical damage by 250%. So I really, really, really like this skill because Crit already naturally has good. No, Green has already naturally good green supporters, and the fact that you're increasing the damage on top of that for the critical is super, super great. It is not only good because of that, but also because this skill has a bunch of super armor. They're not going to interrupt you when you do this. That's great. And this allows you to use this on a mixed build with 2 green. I mean, even with 1 green if you want, but it is a good skill. I can tell you that. Then we have God's Eye. Immediately before enemy attack, you have to dash, evade. So it's the perfect evade. Awaken the inner eye upon time dodge, greatly increasing critical rate for 6 seconds. With 2 green, increases critical rate by an additional 20%. With 2 blue, increase damage dealt by 20% while activated, and with 2 red, increases speed by 20% while activated. So, I mean, it is fine that it is not a buff on top of it. It is a buff on top of it, but it doesn't have like its own duration. It's just 6 seconds. It doesn't really matter. It's like you have a 6-second cooldown, so it's not that big of a deal. Well, not cooldown, downtime. So it is fine. And the extra critical rate, it is super, super good because you saw that this increases critical damage. So you can go full critical damage and forget about your critical rate with green, and you're gonna melt everything in your way. The bad thing about Kurenai is that she is over reliant on this skill and on crit builds. Those are her her strongest builds, and you cannot crit on BR. I mean, you can force your way into critting in BR. I tested that, but it is not optimal due to the resistance. And besides, the more you progress, the more difficult it becomes. Then we have the Shinganji dual wield style. So, enhances normal attacks by implementing 2-weapon fighting style. Increases damage by 10%, increases damage by an additional 20%, and increases particle charge by 50%. Everything with the corresponding number of supporters, 1, 2, and 3. So, it is a skill that I always liked, but I gotta admit that if you are fighting multiple enemies, this is not what you want to use. It is good against one enemy, especially because you can just evade their attacks and then continue with your basic attacks. And it is a splashable skill for the most part because there are not too many stages. Well, there are a lot of stages, but usually they don't have many stages with enemies with super armor, multiple enemies with super armor. Then we have Storm Zone. Storm Zone is a hold evade, attacks the enemy, then knocks it up in the air with a gust of wind. With this is the all blue, as you can see. This is going to be a range attack. Kurenai has 3 range attacks. This is mixed, but whatever. So keep that in mind when building her. With 1 blue, increases area of effect. With 2 blue, the final attack hurl a whirlwind in a small area. And with 3 blue, increases damage by 150%. It is usable. I mean, I know people think this is her weakest, maybe. Um, a part of it comes to the fact that it focuses on knocking the enemy up, which isn't as useful on the most challenging content due to super armor, but it is usable thanks to the multi-hit. The damage that it does is pretty good, so I'll show you how to use this one. Believe me, it's okay. Then we have the Awakening skill, which is Stormfang. Stormfang is a hold attack and throws a dagger that forms a tornado that continuously attacks that target. So yeah, uh, I tested this skill and there's something that you need to know. The target usually is the thing that is the farthest from you. It's not like always, but yeah, it's it's not ideal. Not always are you're going to be able to control the target that you are hitting. So be careful with how you use your skill. Be prepared to dash so that you get near the tornado and the enemies go after you. Well, throw a dagger forms a tornado. Yes. Let's check those effects. So with 2 green reduces the enemy speed by 20% for 10 seconds. With 2 blue, tornado pulls the enemy in. With 2 red, particle charges by 3%. So I know that you think that only green is strong, but actually all of these effects are pretty good. Just that you need to know how you're gonna use them. So we're gonna start with the builds. For everything I'm gonna be using this. I'm not gonna use the active until I need to use the active. And I mean for the specific build for the active. This is going to enhance Gale Slash, making the enemies in the way. What's the word? Making them reduce speed, giving them speed reduction, and dealing more damage. So yeah, I'm not gonna change it. It is plus 15, 5 out of 5, plus 13, 5 out of 5. This I'm going to change the critical. Don't worry, it's gonna be. This is like the farming set. So we're gonna start with blue, and this one I may die, depends on how I perform. We're gonna start with this set, but it is not. It doesn't have the other weapon. I'm gonna be using the guitar too, Pure Heart. It is pretty good, and I'm going to use a Cornet of Supremacy. That's also very good. One of the best weapons in the game, in my opinion. But well, because of the active. Usually actives are pretty lame, but this one is pretty good. So again, Anti-Demon Magatamas. We're gonna be using Storm Storm Zone. Which other one? God's Eye and Storm Fang. Why are we doing this? Because we want to abuse this. If I stun the enemy or if they are meter, they're gonna receive more damage. So that's why I'm using this. And I put this on the active so that I can also stun the enemy with the active and I get cooldown reduction. So it is good. And I have these two to increase my damage. My Kiara is S3, Limim is max out. This is super good. If you have troubles, you can equip a ton of things. You can equip, of course, the generics, Arabella, Fuma, Mane, Mido Haruka, Onigumo. Yes, of course. You can also equip Heviko because she's a demon. You can also equip Sakuya because she's a demon. You can also equip Nana because she's a protect type character. So there's a bunch of things that you can equip in blue. It is pretty good. Also, of course, Akina. So, um, what's the combo here? To evade, then to use Storm Fang, and then Storm Zone. Preferably first Storm Fang, because you want the enemies to gather and be safe. Then you use Storm Zone to deal more damage, knock the enemies, break the super armor, increase your damage with with the rock band Kurenai. I don't know the name of that supporter, but you know what it is. So let's test it. That's just the skin, so that you know. It is not the weapon. Come on, come on. Yes. Oops, that's not the combo. It was like this. So, come on. I am pretty bad right now, but let's see. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. Increase damage. Yeah, that's the idea. So it is not as bad as it seems. That supporter, Kurenai supporter, I like. The only thing is that if you want to abuse it, you need to break the super armor of the enemy super quickly. So, yeah, like that. Pretty good. Okay, perfect evade, perfect evade. Come on, we can do it. I do this, and I do this, and I stun them. Yeah, pretty good. You see, the AoE is nice, the damage increase is nice. I know, it's not the best. I know it. But it works. Though a little bit niche, due to the fact that I have to break the super armor to use the effects of Kurenai. The supporter Kurenai. Banned Kurenai, yeah. So that's one. Let me check my cell phone because, as usual, I don't have a space for all the builds. Let's see. Here I have. So the other blue. Come on. Wow. Yeah, Kurenai is one of the most complex characters that I have done. I don't have another blue for Kurenai. Hmm. Oh, I guess. No, no, no. I do have, but I saved them here. Okay. So, we're gonna be using this. This is super cool because Kurenai is gonna be tanky. Very tanky. These are max out. They are 10 out of 10. 40% damage reduction on suppress, no, on protective characters, and HP recovery after being hit. So these you can change for other things. Let's say that you can change it for what would be good. You can change it for Murasaki if you want. You can change it for Hebiko if you want. So there's options. You can use all the generics. So what are the skills? We're gonna be using Deflective Wind to increase our damage by reducing the defense. We're gonna be using Godsight to increase our damage even further, and we're gonna be using Stormfang. Why Stormfang specifically? Because it has the best AOE. This one, it is good, but the fact that it moves is not that great. Um, so yeah, let's do this. The weapon is the same. I have to check constantly the weapon because here we're gonna be changing them. Again, I changed the skin of the weapon. So let's see. Come on. The combo, of course, is to first do your perfect evade, then do a counter, and then you use the tornado. Let's see. Can I? Yeah, the problem with that is that you have to wait for the enemy. And while the enemy is being gathered, you can just hit them. That's something that I really, really like. Because the tornado pulls the enemies into it. In blue. In blue. Let's see. Fortunately, even though I don't have like HP recovery on this color, and I mean in my skills, I can perform pretty well thanks to the HP recovery provided by the supporters and the damage reduction. It is pretty good. What? What? You want to do damage? To hit me? Well, you can't. Cause you weak. You weak bunch of demons. Yes. Nice. Come on. Yes. Always protect behind the tornado. Use your counter behind the tornado. That's gonna be super good. Because the enemy is going to get near the tornado. So I reposition myself and I do this. And then you reduce their defense and the tornado deals more damage. Yeah, I know this is not dealing that much damage. I'm not like defeating the enemy super fast. But it is not meant to do that. It is meant to survive easily. And as you can see, I have no problems with that. Survivability is no issue here. So, yeah. Like that. Excellent. Oh. Come on. Yes. There. Yeah. Pretty easy. Pretty simple. Blue is pretty good. Supporting the traits of Kurenai. Even though it is not like her best build, it is usable. Very, very easy to use. Thanks to how much she is supported with this color. Now let's see. Oh, okay, okay. Let me check. So, I see, I see. Okay, let's start with this one. What is the other one? It is another one red, okay. So, we're gonna start with this. What's up with this one? I'm going to be using the other weapon. And the other weapon is going to increase the damage of Tornado Rend. And is going to increase my speed when using that skill. So Tornado Rend, for those who did not notice, is going to be using the same command as Stormfang. So you cannot use both of them at the same time. Let me check. Do we have more? Hold. Yeah, Deflective Wind has the same command as Storm Zone. So again, you cannot use those in the same build. So keep that in mind. And we're using Kama Itachi because the utility is pretty good on red for this skill. And then we're also using Tornado Render. The effect to stay in place is probably the best in my opinion. The amount of multi-hit it deals is amazing. And the damage increase with the weapon is going to be super awesome. And lastly, we're using God's Eye to increase my speed. I mean, it is a generic good skill, but if you want, you can change it for Gale Slash to get HP recovery. Here I have so much damage. Only this one is 4 out of 5. Everything else is 5 out of 5. This gives me 36% damage. The other one 30% damage. Yeah, let's test it. It's gonna be really strong. And what's the combo here? To evade, then you do your tornado, and then you do your double dash to do the other skill. I forgot the name of all of them. Let's see. Don't taunt! Attack! My god, I'm fast! I'm fast, baby! Yeah. That's why I use Godside now that I remember, because it's going to stack both attack speeds. Yeah, it is pretty good. Disgustingly good. And you can use White Feather Aska if you want. That's gonna be amazing. Oh, come on. I'm gonna wait for the cooldowns. There. Nice. Come on. Yes. And you can also use Shirayuki's active. I haven't used it, but it gives you a speed control. So it's pretty good. No, who cares about the damage? The speed control is what's amazing on this one. Yeah. That's why I have Shirayuki on the main bot. As I mentioned, you can sacrifice some damage in exchange for the control, because that tornado is going to do a ton of multi-hits, and staying in place is very, very good. Because you can position yourself, the enemy is going to go into the tornado, so you can abuse, where is White Feather Aska with that strategy. Now, we're gonna go limited, but this limited set is pretty different. It is the most complex limited set in my opinion, because this one has a good passive and it has a good active. And the active synergizes with the supporter, but the supporter is already good by itself. So yeah, that's why I think Kurenai has the most complex limited character pack, which doesn't mean it's difficult to use. It's just that it can do so many things that usually you're not gonna do them all together, um, because if you can specialize on the weapon, it's just a topping. I'm gonna use the effect here once just to show you that you can. So what am I doing? First, the supporters. I'm increasing my critical rate and my HP. I'm increasing my damage and critical damage. I'm increasing my critical damage, making a stun and reducing my debuff duration. That doesn't really matter. What matters is the extra passive that makes me invisible. And invisible, it also means invincible, but you cannot attack. That's the merit on that. But the active of the weapon is going to be dealing damage while you are invisible. And a good thing about invisibility, as a pseudo invincibility, is that you are going to get a little bit of time to reduce the cooldown of your skills. That's amazing. And as you can see, this deals damage, knocks the enemies into the air, and increases the speed by 10%. Speed increase is always good. So, now let's go to the skills. Speed control, obviously, and it is pretty easy to use Kama Itachi along with Gale Wind. You just spam your evade 3 times and that's it. And Stormfang. Stormfang, because I want to use the particle charge so that I can use my weapon. Yeah, that's the I won't say like the best set, but I like it this way if I'm using that weapon and that supporter. Because you want to also use the active of the weapon here if you have the Kurenai supporter on the main. So I do this, and I do this, and I do this, and voila! I know it doesn't look like that much damage at first, But it is not about the explosive damage on skills. It's about the consistent damage. Okay, I wait. There we go. Nice. So now I can use my active. But first, I do this. Ah, I missed it. Active. The active is probably one of the best ones in the game because of the area of effect and duration. And it can easily recharge a big chunk of your particles so that you can reuse it time and again. So yeah, that's the idea with this one. To use all your means of damage so that you destroy the enemy super quickly. While not being able to die thanks to the HP recovery provided by Gale Slash. So yeah, but it is not limited to that. You can do this. Here, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to substitute this for Ingrid, and I'm going to focus on the skill. And for this, I'm going to sacrifice Kami for God's Eye, and I'll keep Stormfang and Gale Slash. So the combo is now to use God's Eye, then Stormfang, and then Gale Slash immediately. And also abuse, really abuse that you're active. But no, I'm not using. There's another supporter to take into consideration. Usually this isn't good, but in this case it is. And it's this one, Rhea. Rhea also increases your particle charge, so it is another way to constantly use your active, your weapon active, and she gives you a damage increase on the main, so it is pretty good. So, tornado, and oh, I didn't. Yeah, like that. The speed increase of God's Eye is super good because you're gonna finish your basic attack combo, and then you can use the Gale Slash. If you know how to use it, because as you can see, I'm pretty dumb with those skills, and I don't know the timing. Yeah, just look at the color. Whenever you see that brightness, that's fine. I don't want to use the active of the weapon just yet. I like to use it here when the boss are in the stage. Okay, I wait a moment, and active. And look, I already have more active. More active. Okay, I'm just going to do this tornado and recover a little bit of HP. I'll do the active again. Active, yeah, active. I've used that active. And use the other active. The active of the supporter, that is. So, HP recovery and active. That weapon active is pretty good. I basically did most of my damage with the weapon active. Come on, there. Oh, well. I'll do this and I'll just eliminate them like this. Hey, stop running! Yeah. I like slack a little bit at the end. I didn't try to recover my HP. I could have, but whatever. I mean, the idea of this build is to deal the damage with your active, with your weapon active. And that's why we want Stormfire for the particle charge. That's the important thing, as well as Gale Slash. These are going to allow you to constantly get the particles needed. And if you don't like to use this, I totally get it. If you don't like to use the invisibility, because you cannot control exactly when it is. It would be nice if we could control it. I would prefer a super short cooldown with an active that allows you to become invisible and you decide when you're gonna be invisible. But, well, it is what it is, and we have to find ways to work with it. So, oh, no way, no way. Yeah, but it is the same? Yeah, it is the same. This is another build, but let's see how I perform, because I don't have enough enough HP with this. So yeah, it's this one. So again, a build for the active. This relies on the damage from Shirayuki. But the problem lies here in my supporters. They don't have enchantment, and I'm not going to enchant until we... first, I don't have the materials, and next I need to know what's coming with Micah. I don't know her color, so that's one thing. And it is the exact same build, but with different supporters. Here, I do have to take care of my of my HP. So I'm gonna be a little bit more precise with this. Let's see if I can do it. Oh, yeah, if I can do it. Keyword. Yeah, HP recovery. Preparing for the strategy to commence. So everyone get around, get around. Nice. Yeah. Nice. So now I have enough particles. So I do this and I activate the active. And I constantly deal damage. It's difficult to see what's happening in screen, yes, I know. But I just get around the enemies and I am constantly dealing damage. Okay, finally. As you can see, it really works. You just have to abuse that active along with your skills. Okay, I'm gonna go back so that I can do this and recover my HP. And then I do the active again. Come on, come on. And active. Active of the supporter. Yeah, that active of the supporter is really important on this one, because it increases your particle charge even further. Yes. So, yeah, that's just another build for the same strategy. And now let's go with green. I guess... No, this is not a basic enhancer. We're gonna use Akane green. Akane. And we're gonna use the violin chick. Where are you? This one. And we're gonna use Kowaru. Why are we doing this? Because we don't need critical rate. This is going to increase my damage even further. but you can change it for whatever you want that is going to help you. An example would be to use nano. Let me check. No, on this one, I do not recommend a heavy code. Yes, it's a generic code that you can use, but I do not recommend that one specifically. You can use generic damage increase like this one or this one if you're on BR. No, on BR, this is not a good idea because this is not. You would need on BR Suruga because of critical resistant. But you can also use this. So let's test it. We're gonna use God's Eye. We're gonna use Howling Wind, and we're gonna use Kamitachi, just to deal more damage. The main appeal is just to use God's Eye and shred everything with Howling Wind. But Kamitachi is just there, just in case, and to test how it looks. Oh, I can barely breathe. So, Kamitachi. Yeah, it is okay. It is okay, Kamitachi. There. So the bad thing about this is that the buffs provided by the Violin Chick is it lasts like 2 seconds, so you easily lose them, but you also easily gain them just by doing melee attacks. Oh, that's very weird. I usually don't get interrupted with this skill. Okay. No! I'm gonna wait. Like, for all my cooldowns. Yeah, look at the damage. I just erased Yukikaze. So yeah, it is pretty good. But I didn't perform correctly. I always have to focus Yukikaze, and I always forget to do that. So I'll start focusing Yukikaze. The next one. Oh, I didn't change the skin. It was meant to use the classic, but now we're gonna use the cool one. The cool one, yeah. So for this, we're gonna use. Let me check. Howling Wind, yes. Oh, okay, I see. So we're gonna use Deflective Wind. Deflective Wind to get HP recovery, and Stormfang to reduce the speed of the enemy. This is one of the best effects that Stormfang has. The speed reduction is pretty good. And for this, we're gonna be doing something disgusting. And it's gonna be Heaviko, as usual. We're gonna use Heaviko so that the storm the tornado provides more damage, and we're gonna be using these two. So these are the skills. What is the combo here? To use Stormfang and Howling Wind. Deflecting Wind is just there if you need HP recovery, because in green, Deflecting Wind is the best skill that Kurenai has. But also it's not, because on VR it is not that good. So there we have it. Simple, easy, and deadly. And Kurenai pairs really well with the Founding 3 because of the amount of multi-hit that she has on Howling Wind. So first things first. We use this. Oh. Thank you, Super Armor. Well, at least I defeated. I defeated. I forgot the name. Rinko. Okay, you want that? There you go. Speed reduction, along with this. Yeah, you see, this one is one of the greens that I like the most. I didn't used to do this, but now I do. It's pretty busted. So let's see. We have that, and we also have. Let me check. Oh, now we started with the mixed builds, but for this, we're gonna do something special. By the way, sorry if you hear any kind of noise. They're working on repairing something in the house, so yeah, maybe you hear the drill. Let's see. Demon. Oh my god. Did I really de-equip? Yes, I did. Demon. Like, where are the rest of the demon ones? I don't know if it glitched or something. I have an idea. The other ones are also anti-demon. Let me check. Yeah, no. Anti-demon. Anti-human. 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 Do you have? No, you don't. Do you? You have one. Okay. I don't know where the Magatamas went. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, come on. Well, I'll have to do what I didn't want to do. I'll have to go here. Ah, there they are. That explains. Yeah. Let me check. Dailies. No. Here, I go back, I go here, I go here. And I put one more. There. Yeah, so Coronet of Supremacy. This is great. This is one of the best weapons in the game. Why? Thanks to the fact that it also gives... It has an attack on the active. That's like it. It's not a big deal. But it gives you more particles. So it's abusable. Really abusable. And we're going to be using, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to increase the critical rate with, Anne Rose. We're going to use, obviously, where are you? Ingrid. And we're going to keep the Founding 3. Why? Why are we doing this? So that we can use Deflective Wind as a means of HP recovery. But we're also going to be using the basics to gain more particles. That's the only reason. And we're going to be using Stormfang to increase my particle charge. No, yeah, it is fine to do it this way. We're going to break the super armor constantly. So, yeah. Am I missing something? No, I think not. So, one more thing. This is not enchanted. I'm waiting for the last copy and for Micah, of course. But after that, I'm going to enchant this. Micah is going to receive her character pack right now. And they use the same color for the weapon. So I cannot, even though I want to. Or I shouldn't. More than cannot. So, yeah, this is gonna be really broken. Let's start by doing a couple basics, and then I do the tornado to gain particles, and then I do more basics. So yeah, this is just the warm-up, because I need those particles. Yeah, the tornado is super good, because it allows you to... Whoopsie! Oh, they're dead! It allows you to keep attacking the enemy with your basics and gain more particles. So... Come on. I just need positioning and... There! I'm gonna use the active. There. And active! Wow, the damage! And you can use the tornado when you have the effect of the weapon to gain even more particles. Yeah, it is a pretty easy to use build. If you still like that weapon, you can use it and abuse it. Hey there! Yeah, and it's not enchanted. Look at the damage. It is not that big, I know. But just imagine if you enchanted it. It would be amazing. Nice. I love this one. Let's check the next one. I don't think I have more Cornet of Supremacy. No, now we're gonna go with... Let's see. I have another one with a different weapon, yeah. The one that goes after this. Here we're gonna use Suruga. And we're gonna be using both Lilim and where are you? Kirara. For these, we're gonna be using, I guess, Deflecting Wind for the HP recovery, God's Eye for the damage increase, and Storm Fang to pull the enemies. So the idea here is that we increase our damage by evading, then use Storm Fang, and whenever you need, you have the HP recovery on green. That's why I'm using critical rate increase here, so that we deal more damage by critting. Let's change to summer. Summer in spring, yeah, nice. Wait. Oh no. Okay, I'll do it manually. So we go back to the weapon, and we equip 1 demon, 2 demon, 3 demon, 4 demon. As you can see, like, not all my builds use Gale Slash, so that's why I didn't use I didn't change my weapon. Gale Slash you can equip on mixed builds, but I am not. Come on, try it. Yeah. Damage increase, which in turn increases my HP recovery. Come on, just 1. Good evade, and... And it's done, finally. Now let's try this again, but with the bosses. So I do 1 evade, I hold, I launch, I deflect, and there we have it. Yeah, when you have the HP recovery, it doesn't really matter anymore if the enemy interrupts your actions or not. Because you can just continue attacking. As long as you have enough damage reduction, of course. Yeah. I already defeated all the other enemies. Nice. Yes. There we go. And the last one. I'm gonna use the active. Yeah, I use the active to distract her because she was one by basic attack away from dying. So yeah, there we go. The next one. For this I need to load this build because I'm going to use the weapon. But we're gonna change it a little bit because it's mixed. And for this we're gonna be using Bright. Let's go with Spiral. Spiral. Spiral render, that's why. Spiral render. Deflective wind and tornado. Deflective. So we're gonna be using where are you? Ingrid. Where is there we go. This is going to give me defense and critical, that's why. And also it's going to deal damage and increase my damage with the area of effect. And we're going to be using Kirara to get a little bit of HP recovery. So I'm tanky and also I have damage. That's the combination. And I'm using this one. So why? Let me check. Oh yeah, because of this one. You can also use this if you want, or this. Depends on what you want to achieve or how you feel more comfortable. So yeah, it is just to show that it is a usable skill. Yet, as I mentioned, this specific stage is not the best to use Spiral Wind. That's the name, right? Spiral Render. Because of the super armor and the fact that the enemies are going to be hitting you constantly, so they might interrupt you. Yeah, that's why I use Kurenai, now that I remember. Banned Kurenai, because the enemy is gonna be up. And the damage increase is just too busted on that set. On that support. Okay. Counter. Counter. The speed increase of this weapon is amazing. I can tell you that. Counter. I feel like playing Blast Blue. I am pretty bad at it, but I know just a couple combos. Like very basic combos. Okay, nice. Talking about combos, you can use whichever combination you want here. It is not like you should use one first or the other. The thing is, it's easier to use Tornado Render than it is to use Spiral, because with the Spiral you need to start your basic. In this stage it is a little bit challenging, yes, but usable nonetheless. There we go. You see, not that bad. And now we go back to the standard weapon, and for that I'm gonna load it here. Let's see, what other customs? Let's go with this one. This one is interesting, guys. It is range crit. So for this, we're gonna be using Reina. along with Kowaru and Akane. Pure damage and critical damage. Why? Why exactly? Because we're going to be using Godsai, and Godsai already is going to give us critical rate. So you don't need to worry about landing those crits. Then we're going to be using Deflective Wind. Deflective Wind to increase our damage. And we're going to be using, oh yeah, Stormfang. But now it's a control skill and also the main damaging skill. So yeah, the combo is to Godside, then Deflective Wind, and lastly Stormfang. But if the enemy has super armor, you can Godfang, Stormfang, Godeye, Stormfang, get near to the Stormfang, and then Deflective Wind. That's another option. So let's hope that the enemy don't decide to taunt. Come on, there. And let's check that damage. Yeah, it is pretty nice. Bad thing about this build is that it doesn't have HP recovery. So keep in mind that you have to destroy the enemy quickly. Oh my god. Nice, nice. There. Yes. Yes, look at it. Most of the enemies are already dead. Oh, reposition, reposition. Okay. No. Okay. Yes. Perfect, perfect. It's working, guys. Uh-huh. Here. Nice. One down, two to go. Okay. So yeah, it works as you can see. Yeah, I prefer to do basic attacks when they are stunned. But that was also an option. So yeah, it is. This is a particularly good build for stages with multiple enemies, or if you want to farm. But remember, manually farming won't beat auto farming ever. So though it is fast and easy, it is not the best option. And besides, button mashing is also best. That's why Micah is so good. Let's see. Okay. So for this one, let's put this, and we're gonna be using Barretta. Barretta. Critical, and it is kind of the same build but different, because we're gonna be using Howling Wind. We're gonna be using we're gonna be using Godsai, Howling Wind, and Stormfang. So this is the same, but you don't have the HP recovery. No, you didn't have HP recovery before, so you don't have the benefit of using Deflective Wind to increase your damage. So instead, we're gonna give more damage increase with Barretta, and we're gonna be using Howling Wind because of the super armor that it has. Just because of that, that makes that skill really, really good. It's really difficult to interrupt it. You saw it, and it was one of the few instances where it got interrupted, but normally it doesn't. I need to change the skin of the weapon. So, yeah, we just do this. I mean, technically it's supposed to be this, and then you do the tornado, but you see, it is busted, that skill. I love it. Howling Wind is amazing. Come on. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't get the last effect, which is probably the strongest one. But I'm using a mixed build after all, so it's fine. So first I evade. Come on, come on. There. Perfect evade. Tornado. And I complement the damage with that. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. 1, 2, and 3. And Yuki's destroyed. Come on, guys. Allow me to... Yeah. Finally. Yeah, it is a good build. Even if you don't have HP recovery, you basically are going to evade most of the time, and then you use the tornado, and then you use the howling wind, and it destroys everything. So let's see. Do I have more builds? Yes, I do. Okay, this one I don't like too much. I mentioned that Kurenai is a viable user for White Feather Aska, but it is not the best option because you only get the benefit of breaking the super armor, and that's about it. That's why I'm going to go defensive. Let's change that custom so that I use cat. So here I'm gonna be using a Storm Fang to pull the enemies near and deal multiple hits, and then I'm gonna use this to deal damage and do multiple hits, and lastly I'm going to use a Spiral Rend to deal multiple hits. So break that super armor. If you don't want to use this and you prefer to use Tornado Rend, that's fine, but I prefer to pull the enemies. That's really useful when breaking super armor. So that's why I'm going tanky, because uh, I don't have HP recovery by myself on this build, and I'm trying to rely on a chance based effect to get control on the enemy. So that's why it's really important to go tanky with this. I mean, if you are on BR, you don't need to go tanky as long as you have like 2 or 3 copies of White Feather Aska and everyone is trying to break the super armor. Then it also works. And you can go with damage. Yeah, break that super armor, as you can see. It just works. I mean, not the most damage, obviously, but control is control. It's worth it. And as you can see, I'm full HP. In fact, specifically with this, it will be optimal to use my weapon. More hits, so that's great because I have more chances of breaking super armor. Okay, so 1, I get near. 2, I deal more. I also use the active. I also use the other active. So constantly dealing hit. That's the idea. To deal as many hits as you possibly can to break those super armors. Okay. Weapon. Yeah, and you see how much time they are not attacking? Like how long it takes for them to recover super armor, because I'm constantly breaking it. So it is pretty good. Okay, that one, and this one, and this one, and the active also. All the means of damage you want. The more hits you deal, the better. Because you are using tanky build on this one. But if you do pure damage, that's gonna be way better. But you don't have means of HP recovery, so you have to be careful. It depends on what kind of stage you're tackling. Now, we have one more. This is the last one. And this is going to be a basic attack build, but it is probably the most niche that I have shown in a Let's Play video. Because we're going to use Astaroth. We're going to use New Year Heaviko and Shirayuki. So, let's start with the explanation of why it works and what it does. So, for skills, we're going to use Basic Enhancer, obviously. And we're going to use Deflective Wind to gain HP recovery, and Stormfang to slow the enemy. So the combo is to Stormfang and do your basics, and if necessary, Deflect Wing. Then, why are we using Astaroth? It reduces damage from ranged attacks, that's a thing that I get, but I don't get the damage increase because I'm not a suppressed type character. But I do get the damage increase with this, because I'm going to slow the enemies with my tornado, and then I'm going to inflict poison on them, and I'm going to keep that damage increase on my basic attacks. Also, I use this on the active to get super armor so that I can continue with my basic attacks. So it is a very niche combo, but it works, And this is just the generic big damage increase that works on my basic attacks, that's why. And it also works on my skill. So let's let's change that to the one that I did because it was cool. This, and I'm going to use the wood weapon, my favorite weapons. Yeah, because she's training at school. Nice. So let's see. So the idea is just to basic. I'm not going to use the active until I get to the very end. But also you have to use the tornado. I didn't use it right now. I'm just going to wait for everyone to gather and tornado. And now that everyone has a debuff, I increase my damage on the basics. Okay. Well, that guy has a lot of super armor and didn't get near the tornado. Well, now I wait just a moment and here we go. Super armor. And let's start dealing damage. Yeah, the problem is that the super armor doesn't last long, but it is not a bad strategy. Especially if you're fighting one enemy. Because you can just evade. Dust. They're cutting wood downstairs. Oh, come on. Yuki, you evil imp. There. So yeah, it works. But it works best against one enemy. It's always like that with basic enhancers. Well, not always. Spinel works better with multiple enemies, but that's a different story. So, let's check her weapons very quickly. Because Kurenai is one of the characters with the most weapons, and her weapons actually work pretty well. So, where are you? Kurenai. So, starting with the package one, pretty nice skin, I like it, but increased damage dealt to stunned. Wait, what? What? No, this is not the package. Now that I think of it. It is the groggy one. Increase damage to groggy. Yeah. Yeah, it's the one that Sakura theme. So yeah. Why doesn't she have we have to go to the packs. Why doesn't she have a pack weapon? Because when we had two servers, they uh, they did a ton of exclusive things for Japan, and one of those exclusive things that they didn't release here was the Halloween skin. And when they released Kurenai, they were lazy and they just put the Halloween skin as the pack skin. So this is limited to the pack, and that sucks like really, really hard. I don't know what they're gonna do with her renewal. And it has its own weapon, as you can see. So that's why she doesn't have a pack weapon. Like a bad pack weapon. Now, let's go back to those weapons. And Kurenai. So, starting with Coronet of Supremacy. Coronet of Supremacy is definitely, in my opinion, one of the best weapons in the game, which uses its active, which has an active that deals damage. Normally, those actives are like whatever, but why is it this one so good being so old? Because it increases particle charge, so that you can continue getting more actives. And if you're gonna get a lot of particles with Kurenai in red using tornado and sorry, the dust, using the tornado and using the gale flash, but also you can use your basics with the basic enhancer to get more particles. It is amazing. Oh my god. Then we have arena weapons, which are whatever. Punking sword. Normal attacks have a 10% chance of restoring 2% of lost HP. That's actually not bad. But the problem with this, as usual, you only get one copy. Let's check those stats. Oh my god. Yeah, the stats are lower compared to other weapons, so that's not good. If you want to use it on other colors, it's okay. But investing so many Demonite on it, no. Yeah, Demonite, it's just rough. And do not get that much value because it has lower stats. Sets a pumpkin that explodes after a short delay, deals damage and stuns all enemies within the area. So the active, you may think it's very dumb, but it works with her blue seasonal supporter, the band Kurenai. So it's not as bad as you may think. Obviously, the terrible weapons. The only way to fix this is with content, survival stages, you know. Then we have this one. This one is pretty good on Kurenai because Kurenai already crits easily on green. So, well, in any color with God's Eye. So, it is kind of a generic good, as usual, a generic good. The summer weapon. So, this, increases particle charge from attacks by 75% and summons 5 water balloons, each perform a range attack of 580 damage that knocks back the enemies. I mean, I don't remember if you get the benefit of this and the snake weapon if you put it in the sub slot, which would be very, very good, specifically for the a Cornet of Supremacy and the limited pack character pack weapon. Okay, then we have Dane's Leaf, I think. I don't know how to pronounce that. So, on the place where Gale Slash passes through, the wind ranges and deals 50% damage, and reduces enemies' movement by speed by 10% for 10 seconds. So, damage increase and speed control. That's good. Not the speed control. Yeah, the speed control. It is damage speed reduction. Then conjures a gust of wind that automatically deals 50% damage to nearby enemies for 10 seconds. Pretty, pretty good. Uh, just with a little bit more extra uh, particle charge, you're going to be able to use that skill, that active infinitely, just by getting near the enemy. So it is pretty good. And besides, it solves one of Kurenai's problems, that is uh, that she is best as a single target specialist. Even though you saw that she can deal with multiple enemies thanks to the awakening skill, she really likes to hit one single enemy. The snake weapon, um, the particle charge is appreciated, but the active is not great for melee attackers because of the combination of supports that you can do. And this one, Pure Heart, when using Tornado Render, increases speed of all allies by 20% for 5 seconds and increases damage of Tornado Render by 30% for 5 seconds. This one is super good. Not good, it's super good. It really makes Tornado Render viable, because if you are not using if you're using it, uh, they share commands. Tornado Rain shares command with the other tornado, so there's few reasons to not use the other one, because the other one has uh, uh, speed reduction, pulls the enemies, and charges your particles. So why would you use this? The only reason is that you want the tornado to stay and deal multi hits on red. But here you increase the damage and you get a benefit. So it is really worth it. Let's see, and that's it for the weapons. Quick analysis on Kurenai. If I can find her, that is, yeah, here she is. So, Kurenai is an excellent character, yet there are some things to take into consideration. Her kit revolves around God's Eye. Just like Saika revolves around Takeover, Kurenai revolves around God's Eye. So you are going to crit, and if you cannot crit, thing that happens on Time of 5 VR, then you're losing a ton of value from this character. Uh, though she can play control or support, it is not specialized on that. Like, the pull effect is not great on enemies with super armor. The speed reduction is fine. The speed reduction here is fine. But it's only one speed reduction on red and green. And that's it. The other kind of control that she does is with the whirlwinds. But enemies with super armor are not going to get stunned or knocked up. And another problem here. You need to take a hit to recover your HP. And if you have the skill cooldown reduction on Time of 5 VR, you are not going to recover HP anymore. And sometimes taking a hit is not viable because of the amount of damage of the enemy that the enemy can deal. So yeah, there's a bunch of cons when talking about VR and Kurenai. She can work on VR, yes, like any character. She can be your main damage dealer if you want. But I wouldn't recommend using her. She's one of the few characters who can crit on VR if you go green. So that's another thing to take into consideration. And she, as I mentioned, even though she can deal big AoEs, she likes to focus her targets. I wouldn't say that she's over reliant on the basic attacks. She She gets interrupted easily on most of her skills. Only Howling Wind is like has super strong super armor. So yeah, and she is also a little bit over reliant on Stormfang, as you can see. So is she really that bad? No, she's great. She's great, but she's not good for VR. She can work on VR, but she's not optimal because she doesn't provide enough debuffs, enough uh, correct control, because the control she has doesn't apply to enemies with super armor. So yeah, it's kind of bad for VR, but good on any other kind of content. She can deal damage to many enemies, so she can technically farm, though it's not the most efficient, you know it. And she can clear any kind of challenging stages, bonus, tower, whatever you want to use her on. She's gonna be effective, and she's pretty easy to use. That's her main appeal. That you may think that she doesn't do much, but she does. You just have to deflect wind, howling wind, and God's Eye, and you are done. That's her best build, definitely for most content. And if you don't want that, just go with a lot of damage or tankiness and use Storm Zone, Spiral Render, and the Stormfang. Stormfang, yes. And also with red, it also works with red. It works with all the colors pretty well, but the strongest one is the green one. So yeah, I know that I'm not that convincing when selling her out, but she is a good character. Just that she underperforms on what nowadays is the most challenging content that we have. That is VR. So that's the only caveat that she has. So that's about it for today, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye.